What's up? It's Diplo and friends coming at you live from Studio 54. That's New York. Studio 54, New York, with one of my favorite guests here, Flosstradamus. What's going on, Floss man?
Hey, Flosstradamus, dabbing here in the studio.
Love it, a good dab. Love a good dab. What are you working on, Floss? What's new? What's cracking? What are the kids listening to?
What the kids are listening to these days. Well, as a Flosstradamus, I can see what others are. I know what's best for those, and I think the best thing...
I think you're thinking Nostradamus.
I'm talking as the Flosstradamus. We need to bring back mid-90s female-driven pop songs. What I'm saying is what I'm working on. We got you've heard of the recording artist Shania Twain.
Love the hot take.
What I'm saying is I don't want to say I have Shania Twain Part 2, but I've got a Shania Twain Part 2.
That's great. Well, we're on a tight timeline here, Floss. We're gonna have to cut you off there. Next coming up segment is Nickelback overrated or underrated? Coming up next.
Continuing
Tonight on Two C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your...
Two C's in a pod, 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 just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod, because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Why am I looking at you? Why are you looking at me? Cam, there's nobody else here for us to look at. We have, over the course of... Welcome to Two C's in a Pod. My name is Cameron Osborne. I'm sitting here at Camel Car. Over the course of these last 49 weeks, we have built a mega corporation, an empire, and not since the fall of Rome have the armed forces so quickly abandoned their posts. Cam, we're here alone at the studio.
We're here alone at the studio. I got my phone's ringing. The debtors are calling.
There's nobody to call you.
I don't know, man. I assume it's the lenders. You haven't paid our bills in months.
We're grasping at straws over here, Cam.
Cameron, like they say, love is easy when you don't give a shit.
Kim Mitchell's still coming around,
welcome.
though. Kim Mitchell's still paying the bills.
Kim Mitchell's paying the bills. This is episode 48. Am I right about that?
48 or 49, I think, for the kids at home.
And what's your favorite player?
Is it 48 or 49?
I don't know. I don't keep. There's supposed to be someone that keeps track of this.
Yeah, who's keeping? Yeah, fuck. This is too hard without somebody here. I think it's episode 49. Probably no one. Cam, unfortunately, now we are dipping into the obscure NFL positions kind of numbers. You know,
I was gonna say my favorite player is Mr. San Francisco 49er himself, the originator of the team name.
Oh yeah, his Christian name, I believe, was Alexander 49er.
Of the 49th division.
Right, and it just sort of came together. He at the beginning of sort of the inception, and by the way, it's just a little sidebar, by the way, for you football fans at home. At the beginning of sort of the football leagues, teams were traveling around, new rules, amount of players allowed on the field, but Alexander 49er, he famously refused to have anybody on the team not with the last name of 49er, so his team mostly just kind of consisted of him, his mom, his brother, and it wasn't until you kind of, had to change the rules so he was able to allow somebody else on the team who wasn't named 49er.
Love it. Want to hear some weird sports trivia that hit me today?
Do you love it, Cam? I don't know, Cam. Tell me about it. What do we got for sports trivia here?
Not sports trivia so much, but something really weird that happened to me related to sports and numbers. So I'm on the phone with someone today, and he goes, hey, it's a sales guy. And he goes, hey, I just had one more question for you. I'm like, what is it? He goes, were you named after Cam Neely? And I'm like, who the hell asked that question?
That's
the answer
tough.
was yes.
That one's tough because it's like, yes, Cameron is not the most common name in the English language. However, like, it's not so uncommon to think that somebody wouldn't have thought of it. And I've never gotten that one before.
I know. Nor have I. That's something I tell people. I'm like, would you believe I'm named after Cam Neal? And they go, I didn't associate those two. You're right. You do have the same name.
Yeah, that's
this fucker.
That's like somebody
from Boston.
That's like somebody named Matts, and then they're like, "Hey, you're named after Matt Sundin," and they're like, "No, I'm just named Matt." Or, "Hey, are you named after Connor McDavid?" And then you say, "No, I'm 14 years older than him. How would I be named after him?" That being said, though, I can't imagine that there's many other people named like Spud Webb. Aren't many other Spud Webbs around, or letting the animals in here in the studio. There's probably some sports names where nobody else is being named that. Fuck that guy, whoever is that. Is that him? Is that him back there who asked to put the Cam Neely question? I'm gonna kick the shit out of him right now.
I don't know who the hell it is. I'm gonna go take care of this quickly though. All right, listen for shotguns. Fill the air.
Time to fill the air. Well, fucking Cam just left his post. I think it's about time that we just cut to a quick commercial break. We're gonna have a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Hey, I'm Cameron Osborne here. Just going to read some ad copy real quick. It was just, these notes were just put in front of my face. Okay, this episode of Two C's in a Pod is brought to you by Prostitots. I don't even... Can I say... I can't say this on... Wait, are you telling me if listeners use promo code 2Cs, they're going to get 15% off their very first Prostitot? What does that even mean? What's a prostitot? How much money are they paying? Oh, shit. Well, in that case, you're going to want to use promo code 2Cs in a Pod for your very own prostitot. Enjoy the rest of the show. Cam, we're back from commercial break here. Did you pick up your Paul Bunyan's 12-ply toilet paper yet, Cam? Last week we were talking about your messy dumps and how this could be the solution to your problems.
Was the solution, but also don't know if I gave you the update on this because it happened yesterday. Went to go get a doctor's test. It's called blood work.
The classic doctor's test. They put you in the gown. You lie down on the paper thing. They hit the thing on your knee.
They ask you about how your relationship with your dad is.
They hold your balls and ask you to cough, ask you to smile, ask you to lick their toes. Classic doctor's test.
Yeah. So when's the last time you were at a doctor?
Actually the earlier March this year, pre-pandemic, but just would have been same thing, blood work, that kind of thing. Blood work. Yeah. He touches my penis,
right.
Asks me to bend over. He says I need to check your prostate, like normal sort of test.
He grabs your nuts. He says, cough once if you like this.
Yeah, cough twice if you want me to squeeze them harder. Normal doctor questions.
Imagine a doctor's holding your nuts. He's like, can you cough for me? He's like, you're like, can you say I like that?
I'm sure crazier things have happened, but Cam,
repeat me?
You found yourself getting one of these tests performed.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So go to get this doc because I was telling about like bad stomach pains all the time.
Yes, of course.
Right. So and that's where the lots of poop are coming out. So I can't remember. I don't think I talked about this yet. turns out, get my blood work in, don't have gluten intolerance. Also, just so you know, folks at home, that costs $60 to have your gluten intolerance test done.
Okay.
Pretty expensive. Probably because all these white hoes are out there being like, I'm gluten intolerant. It's like,
And
go
pimps,
check.
hoes and pimps.
Hoes and
Let's not
pimps.
discriminate.
Anyway, so go get those tests done. Run into the PA, or she calls me back, and she's like, your blood work's perfect. All you need to do is take something called Beano, which will help you digest fiber. So I couldn't digest fiber, Cam, and I was eating so much because we're trying to put on pounds for the summer. Couldn't digest all the berries and oatmeal that you told me about. So partially blame you, but also thank you because you were telling me to eat more and you told me to eat smoothies, which actually helped me find out what was wrong with me. So kudos to you.
It was my plan all along, Cam. By exposing yourself to the more food options, you find out what doesn't work and what does work. And I'll tell you what does work. Paul Bunyan's 12-ply toilet paper for those heavy messes.
Oh, look at that segue. Love it. Love a good product placement.
You love it. You love a good product placement. You love a good segue. Well, here's a good segue for you. We got some notes from last week.
Notes. We got some notes. We got some notes. Notes. We got some notes.
Ooh, who wrote them?
That is a good question. These are sort of things that kind of flood into our email address. Maybe there's a goody two shoes intern who still believes in us, what we're doing here. And anyways, Cam, so let's get into some notes from last week very, very quickly, and without you, Cam, saying a single word, or rather I should say singing a single word.
Ooh, this gonna be tough.
The Wham song you were thinking of was Last Christmas. That was the one, and we couldn't quite get there. Last Christmas,
Could you maybe give me an idea of how it sounds, that one?
It sounds something like, Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. This year...
I'm really holding it back here.
That's what you were thinking of. Go to Netflix right now. You can check out the movie Last Christmas, inspired by the song's lyrics. Not a word of a lie. There's a song out there, or there's a movie out there inspired by a song written by George Michael and whoever the other guy is. We'll leave that one up for the corrections department next week. Last Christmas by Wham. Search it on Spotify. Another correction or note for us. You were getting there. The word that I was trying to communicate, or the word that you were trying to communicate, was a cappella, which was
That's right.
Singing with no instruments. But Cam, you asked yourself, isn't that what you call the group of islands?
No, that's an archipelago.
An archipelago. Actually.
Close. Very close.
Cam, you were so close, but either way, we didn't get the word. Archipelago, small group of islands, can also refer to the small sea containing the number of scattered islands. A little fun fact here for you, Cam. Canada holds the second and third largest archipelagos. The second is the Canadian Arctic Archipelago with 36,563 islands. Picture, it's all of the islands in North America that aren't connected, or like all the islands in northern Canada that aren't connected to mainland. So pretty much you can picture what it looks like. So parts of the Northwest Territories and Nunavut. And then finally, coming at number 3 are the 30,000 Islands archipelago with about 30,000 islands. That's right. That's the islands located along the east side of Georgian Bay.
That's where the salad dressing comes from, right?
That's where the salad dressing probably comes from. It's actually also the world's largest freshwater archipelago. Holding that distinct record to Cam. There you go.
You want to hear another lake fact? Manitoulin Island has the largest island in a lake.
Okay, I get it. That's pretty cool.
A little bit of turtle shell. Who's on the back of who? Chicken laid the egg. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. Wait. What's the chicken and egg situation? Is this?
Who came first, the island or the lake?
Which island and lake?
It just goes for infinite. Think about the turtle shell and who's on each other's turtle shell back. This is some complex philosophy. You probably wouldn't wrap your head around it.
I don't get the turtle shell part of it. I mean, I understand the chicken and egg, but what came first, the turtle or the shell? Is that what you're trying to ask?
No, it's something about like there's a turtle that lives on a turtle that lives on a turtle that lives on a turtle, but they're just bigger shells.
Ah.
You ever heard this one?
So you're saying like if I see a turtle walking around,
I think it's a metaphor for life.
Oh, so like life is full of turtles. And either you're the shell or you're the turtle. But either way, the shell is connected to the turtle's spine. So you both...
Is that true?
That is true. So you both... contrary to what cartoons may have led you to believe... slide
right out and get a new one.
You just kind of... Or you can slink right in. And then there's like a lot of room. And they can just kind of freely... I blame... Franklin the turtle. Remember that was like a series of like children's books, or it was a TV show I think when we were younger. I blame him because I feel as though I distinctly remember him taking off his shell. That's not the case. It's actually connected to its spine. You break a turtle, like you can't remove a turtle from its shell without killing it. If that's
have you ever held a turtle up close?
Never up close. But this was firsthand information that I received from. I can't reveal my sources on this information because this turtle stuff is climbing up the top of the charts right now.
Highly confidential
in terms of government conspiracy. Of course, Bitcoin just topped $20,000, but this turtle information is really what's kind of taking over the dark web there. I've never held a turtle too close, I don't think, but I was sent photos by someone who was exposed to a turtle shell and like a turtle expert.
I like how it was exposed to one as if it's a disease.
Well, you know, you're either in the vicinity or you're not. And in this particular instance, my source, who shall remain nameless, was in the vicinity of a turtle's shell.
So when I was at the cottage one time, we were coming down one time, and there was off the dock, we saw a turtle, like a big snapping turtle, just like floating there. We're like, holy smokes, look at that. And we're being like super, like really like trying to be quiet, like don't scare the turtle. And then we looked and we noticed that the turtle had put its little like, I don't know what you call it, foot, to like paw at a lure that was hanging off a boat. So the lure was outside of the water. It was hanging in the air dangling, but I guess it was shiny. And he hooked his own foot.
Yikes.
So we didn't want to pick it up because I've seen enough people lose their fingers from snapping turtles.
Wait, how have you seen enough people lose their I've never seen a single person lose their fingers from snapping turtles. And yes, Cam, you might be right. Seeing one person could be enough. But where have you been in situations where you've seen so many that you can't see them anymore?
Internet.
Jesus Christ.
What do you look up in your spare time?
Just normal Wikipedia shit. I don't know.
I look up worst case scenario camping situations.
Specifically to the area in which you're going camping.
Yeah, it's like, all right, what's all the wildlife?
Reddit.
Let's go over what could potentially go wrong and then figure out how to avoid it. Like bears, not a big deal, make a lot of noise. Turtles, don't fucking touch them.
I thought you were supposed to play dead around the bears.
No, that's turtles.
Oh, turtles is play dead. Because they'll snap at you. Bears are run the fuck away as fast as you can.
Black bear, there's only black bears in Ontario, so all you got to do with the black bear is just make a lot of racket and look big.
What's the one, what are the bears where I impress him with my physique? Where I prove to him, like, no, my gains are bigger than your gains.
I think you find those at the Gold's Gym.
Oh, okay, that's at Gold's Gym? Okay, yeah. Those were the bears that I was looking for. Or you can go to the Pump House, the all-male nude review show coming at you from the Pump House. Cam, let's keep moving on here in the show because first of all,
it's the end of Turtle Talk?
Because it's the end. I gotta put an end to the Turtle Talk, Cam, because I'm looking outside my window right now. If you want to talk about something we haven't talked about before, weather and traffic. Weather and traffic is here right now. Weather and traffic don't have a cow. Weather and traffic certainly not something we've brought up in a while. It's gray skies out here. It's windy. We got a nice little dusting of snow. And when I think gray skies, wind, and a slight dusting of snow, nothing comes to my mind more than Christmas in Southern Ontario. So today, on a very special, kind of we're gearing up towards Christmas. So I thought it was about time that we covered the top 5 worst Christmas traditions. Here's the top 5. Here are 5 tips about things. 5 ways to... No, it's just a top 5.
Ooh, I was thinking of doing this too.
Well, guess what? Fucking beat you to it, Cam.
You beat me to it. You beat me to it.
Didn't even give you a chance, Cam. If you want, I don't want to pry too much information out of you, but are you comfortable in discussing with the audience at home? I mean, there's this sort of question that I have for you, and it's just this: do you celebrate Christmas? Is that information
yes.
That's information that you're comfortable? I can write it down.
I celebrate the birth of Santa Claus.
Santa Claus was born, of course, on Boxing Day.
Yes.
Then he came out 3 days earlier, and after he saw a shadow.
That. Yeah, I never paid attention in Santa Claus class. Is that what they called it?
I think they called it Sunday school, Cam. So,
that's what it
like
was.
we
Yep.
said, top 5 worst Christmas traditions. We're going to come up here. Coming in at number 5, Christmas trees that aren't green. Okay, so we've gotten to the point where we've kind of accepted now that people have artificial trees. There's no way around that.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's a little easier. Maybe you don't have...
A little bit more environmentally conscious.
It could be more environmentally friendly, but somewhere along the line, it was someone's idea to make trees not green. Cam, it was someone's idea, and of course, who do we have to blame but the goddamn Germans again? Germans fucking with everything we did, because in the early 1900s, they were the first people to have been recorded to coloring their trees. So here's what they would do. As a result of insane deforestation over in Germany, they started making their fake trees, which they would take goose feathers, stick them into a pole, and then that was sort of what the tree looked like. They were then able to dye it any color they want. Of course, a lot of people would dye the tree green with holiday splendor, but some said, no, what if it was all white? And these fucking crazy people fucked it up for everyone. And the tradition remains strong today. You see Christmas trees that aren't green all the time.
Yeah, I see the red ones, see the white ones. I don't really see much deviation from that.
Maybe a gold, if you're lucky.
Maybe a gold. Yeah, that one's a little bit much. You see how much high quality fake trees are?
Yes. Yeah. I was
like $800
at work. Castle spent a lot of money on a bunch of fake trees, and I love how they're such shitty quality. But I guess if you keep good care of it, that's kind of all it is. It's then on you. If you want to spend that money for that fake tree, great. Keep the box. Keep all the pieces and parts, know how it goes together.
Pretty easy. Just keep it in the box, because a box is a lot easier to stack in your storage room than just throwing a tree back there.
That way, and then then you have to keep a tree alive in your laundry room for 11 and a half months.
With no sunlight.
It's just silly. No sunlight. It just gets to be a bit ridiculous, King.
Right next to the chain down girl.
Right next to the your apartment. Has become a Black Snake Moan type situation lately.
Is that a reference to a movie?
Oh, you know it, Cam. Coming in at number 4 on the worst Christmas traditions are the fake fireplaces on the television set.
Ooh, those are my favorite.
You may know it as the Yule Log, of course. The Yule Log, a television show which originally aired in 1966 on WPIX in New York from Christmas Eve to Christmas morning.
WWPIX. It's the Yuletide channel, bringing you someone bringing on a log every 45 minutes, guaranteed.
Ran from 1966 to 1988 on that channel, created by a man named Fred M. Thrower, who suggested the burning log with Christmas music playing over top for all those houses who don't have fireplaces of their own. It is also the first television program to be completely aired without a single commercial break.
Oh, imagine if they put a commercial in it. That'd be awful.
And for 21 years now, of course, people just go on Google or they go on, youtube.cub and just search.
We don't say their name.
Just search, give me a log. And then the first one, it's just a piece of poo. The second one they always check is always a burning Yule log. Keep going on. Worst Christmas traditions. Coming in at number 3, quoting the movie Elf for a month straight, thinking that you're so funny and original. Okay, folks, look, by this point, you've seen the movie Elf. And if you haven't, you're probably not in the demographic of people who would listen to this show. So just change the network. You're not going to get it. Now, we don't need to hear the classic lines, gimmicks, or bits.
Come on, give me a few of them.
For the next months straight. Okay, sweetheart, listen to this. If you're going to be repeating all of these jokes, which everyone else is making, commit to them. Do it for the entire year. If you love Elf so much, quote it as often as every other single dumb episode of How I Met Your Mother that you watch every 4 days. I'm sorry, Neil Patrick Harris. Suit up, not a good enough catchphrase. If you like Elf, fucking like Elf.
Is that a Neil Patrick Harris thing? I never knew where that was from.
That was his line. That was the line from How I Met Your Mother, Cam.
Terrible. What's a line from Elf though? I can't even think of one.
The whole like Santa, him freaking out about Santa, or pressing all the buttons.
I like that one. Come on, that's funny.
There's more. I'm clearly not the type who would quote it, Cam, but now is the time that these people let their freak flag fly.
The big wigs.
Which is actually a lot harder to say. Coming in at number 2. Coming in at number 2 on the worst holiday traditions is the annual holiday family photo and newsletter. So we've all seen or read one of these before, so we have the family photo and all of their Christmas garb, all smiles, hell, even the fucking dog and gerbil are there. And then, sure enough, you flip the page and it's followed by a 5-paragraph essay on the family's comings and goings. Updating you on every single sibling achievements for the year. Timmy is on the grade 7 honor roll and scored 18 goals for his hockey team. And then there's Lisa, who's at her first year in Queen's University studying biology, making a lot of friends, and took her first gangbang a few weeks ago when 4 offensive linemen just went for it. Look, parents, there's a reason why you keep in close touch with some and not with others. Do I tell the guy who I sat beside in Mr. Mutton's accounting class all of the details of my life? Absolutely not. Should I go to the length of printing him a piece of paper and mailing it? Absolutely not. This isn't even worth the price of the postage.
That's a good one. I've never seen that, though. I've never had a family be like, I'm okay. I like a good Christmas card from a family where they take a nice picture. But maybe not the newsletter. Maybe just an executive summary.
So you've never gotten one of these.
No, my family's not like that.
Well,
they'll maybe call on Christmas.
It's not your family who has to be like that. It's the other families who are like that, sending them to yours.
So you're telling me that family friends will send you newsletters?
Many of my stepmom's friends do that. They get a lot, like 3 or 4.
I don't know about that. I think that might be. I've heard of that, but I think.
Well, if you've heard of it, that means it happens.
I've heard of it. It's real. It's just, definitely not something in my social circle.
Well, hey, there's probably people who haven't seen Elf, and they're doing it too.
Fair enough.
Coming in at number 1 on the top 5 Christmas traditions that we just need to get rid of is everything about figgy pudding. For all of
Never
those
had
who
it.
don't know, figgy pudding is a dessert created by Satan and fed to all the inhabitants of hell when they go out of line. You know the song, bring us some figgy pudding, bring us some figgy pudding, bring us some pudding. Now bring it right here. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. So bring it right here. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. If it's in the song, if it's in a Christmas song, it has to be good. Jingle bells are good. Jingle Bell Rock is good. We could stand to believe that. If it's in a Christmas song, it has to be something pleasant, but it is absolutely not. It is a traditional English dish from the medieval times, which contains honey, fruit and nuts, as well as a filling of rich, herbally accentuated pork sweetmeats. This is a flavor
So
which
it's pudding with meat in it.
This is a flavor from the 14th century, and it belongs in the 14th century. Look, things evolve for a reason. Surely if our bodies have changed in the last 600 years, then it stands to believe that our taste buds have too. You know, what was a delicacy in Middle English now has the taste equivalent of eating an entire package of multi-flavored Jelly Bellies all at once. I should say, though, as a little note, if you are from the 14th century, I'm sorry, keep on keeping on. If not, then it has to be time to end this terrible tradition.
Yeah, these are a few things. I got one I want to add to the list, unless we'd hit it next. But these are a few things I have not dealt with in my Christmases of past.
Yeah, well, that was all 5. If you have been paying attention.
I thought we were at 4. Mine was gonna be, what do you call it? Yankee swap with the family. Kill it.
With the family specifically?
If it's a large family and it's just like, oh man, we get dragged into this one where it's like, we're gonna do Yankee swap and it's like 40 people, not 40, but like say it's like even 20, and you're like, I'm gonna end up with something shitty, but I have to spend $50.
Okay, that's a big one. We do that too, Yankee swap with 20 or so people, but it's definitely not $50.
Yeah, I think that's what they were asking for. So like, you got something good. I'm like, I don't know about this. I think it just seems like I'm not gonna end up something good.
Yeah, why not?
Like, you end up with something you just don't need. Like, last time we did it with friends, and we got, like, a taco stand and a book about tacos. Like, I don't need this shit.
And Cam, you're classically a fajita guy.
I love fajitas.
I agree there. There was a couple years we used to do, and the Osborne family, we used to do a re-gifting Yankee swap.
Ooh, I like that.
In an effort to get the old out of your house and into the new. And it worked well until it was just trying to hit the age where it was like, oh, the game's getting stale. Like, no, some people don't have anything else to give.
Right.
And then it came to, like, especially there was a lot of people, you know, and at the point where everybody had moved out of the house, where you didn't take shit with you. Like, I'm in second year university. I don't have peripheral shit around me that I don't need. Like, everything I need, I use.
Yeah, you're like, I don't have space to carry shitty gifts.
To carry junk, yeah. So then it got a bit stale, and then it was purchase one. And then I think we also tried a couple years where you could write if it was a male gift, female gift, or a unisex gift. We tried that, I think. I don't know if that quite made the rounds. But either way, regardless of what the adults have been doing, the kids always get to open a gift. I think like 16.
I'm good with that.
16, I think, is the age where all the kids after 16, they can play the adult game, but they are just they can't go for the booze. That's always like one of the ongoing, because there's always a bottle of scotch or something like that in one of the rounds.
You should allow them, but you have to finish it tonight.
My dad, one year at the Osborne Yankee swap, bought a box with brought a box with a lobster in it.
I think I heard about this.
I've said this on the show, maybe, or probably
no. Say it again. Come on.
Maybe I've said it in real life.
Come on, give me. I want to hear it again.
You and I have had conversations outside the realm. So we all knew, because obviously there's a fucking lobster in a box in the back seat beside me on the way to Uncle Grant's
classic.
house.
What, is it wrapped?
The box is wrapped and everything's fine. And Dad, I think Uncle.
Does it have holes in it?
I can't quite remember. I mean, although it was just a few years ago, I don't really remember, all the specifics. But so we're at Uncle Grant's place, and he was in on it too because he had set up he had to facilitate it being in a cold enough spot, so everything was kind of safe or whatever. And unfortunately, it was just it just wasn't the right person to open it. It was like my eldest uncle, or it was my uncle's ex-wife.
Was she the ex-wife at the time?
Yes. Yeah, she's still. Well, they have a half son. There's a whole thing, so don't worry.
They don't have a full son?
Yeah.
What happened to his other half?
Just half a son. Yeah. Just waist down. That's all they got. That's all they got for him. He just a waist down person. It would have been way funnier if a bunch of other people would have opened it.
Why? How did she react?
She was scared, but then
I would be scared.
But then I think everyone was like, "Oh, the old person shouldn't open the gift that's going to scare them." That's the gift.
How old was she?
75. That's not the gift.
That's
unfortunately, that's just the way the game is played. And
Yeah.
I remember she was taking it, and Dad and I are looking at each other like, "Oh, this is either going to be hilarious or not quite land." And if it was just one of the cousins in their 30s who opened it up, would have been hilarious. The woman who's in her mid 70s, unfortunately, it's not as funny.
It's a little bit funny, but probably not and then you're like, are you gonna die?
It's always the are you gonna die? And then it came the question of what to do with the lobster, which was the tough part, because she obviously didn't want to take it, and then it was the eat it thing, and then everyone's like, well, how are we gonna do this now? You're coming for a quaint family Christmas, and the next thing you know, you have to kill a lobster.
What'd you do?
I can't remember. It definitely didn't come back home with us. So I'm sure one of the other cousins took it because the woman who opened the present would not have taken it with her. It was a funny joke. Dad likes funny jokes. I can remember who was laughing.
Right.
So it's okay, that's good. There was this kind of crew, and then this group over here. I'm they're the ones who we want laughing.
That's good. I got to think of a good. I don't think we're involved in it. Obviously, there's no Christmas this year.
You can take the lobster if you ever want to.
It's a good one. It is a good one.
Folks at home, if you're ever looking for a Yankee swap type game, live lobster in a box
kills it.
Up the box
Kills it.
It's hilarious every time. Even funnier if there's a vegan around. Even funnier if they're the one who ends up having to open it. That would just be the icing on the figgy pudding.
So bring us the figgy pudding. Yeah, I love it, dude. That's incredible. I want to do that. I don't think I've ever gotten a good gift in one of those things.
I got a knife set one time.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Knives that I still have to this day. Anything else? And then sometimes, there's kind of if you can go to just kind of that front layer of home hardware.
So much good stuff.
All that kind of stuff.
it's
Everyone
the
can
best.
use a USB port charger, or everyone can use or a pack of hot sauces that all have fun names like El Terrible.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Or maybe hand warmers. And you're I could use some hand warmers.
Yeah, and even if a little pack of hand warmers, something fun.
A knife sharpener.
Something, that's at least practical. If you are going to a Yankee swap game, I suggest that kind of first little quarter of your Canadian Tire or Home Hardware. It's perfect.
Yeah, I love it. You want to hear what I'm getting my dad for Christmas? I'm pretty pumped on it.
Ooh, let's hear it.
So, obviously, if I'm named after Cam Neely, my dad's obviously a big Bruins fan.
Right.
And every time that we go up to the cottage, we don't have any internet, don't have any cable. We just have a TV with a DVD player. Mm-hmm. And he will go up and watch the same 8 games all the time. It's the 1972 Canada-Russia series. Just watches it.
The Summit Series, series, some have called it.
He has watched it countless times.
Does he have that thick DVD set of it?
You know he does.
Okay, my stepdad has the same. He has the same one.
Normally those sit on shelves. His, nope. It gets played, 7 times a year, fully through.
All the other DVDs are like dusty. Like,
Oh no, they're not, because it's the only thing we can watch.
Yeah,
like, we can only watch DVDs up there.
Smudges all over the place. Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that, like, you keep going back to. You're like, you have your Jack Black collection of 3 DVDs. You're like, this one's getting a lot of use. The Vin Diesel 3-pack, like, that's getting some good use. Fast and the Furious 1, Anacondas 2. Like, these hit home.
Of course,
the
the classic 3-movie set.
Yeah, gotta love them. Anyway, so this year I looked online and I could only find one copy of this. It's the 2011 Bruins Stanley Cup run. The last 4 games where they won all 4 games against the Vancouver Canucks, the full game. So it's like that DVD set. And then with that, I'm like, maybe I can get more of these and get him the whole playoff run. So I'm going on YouTube and downloading the games from YouTube onto discs, onto DVDs, and then I'm going to give him all that. So he'll get close to 16 games or 12 games that he can watch.
Cam, should I bleep out all of that that you just said? Because I'm pretty sure at the end of every NHL game they do say you're not allowed to replicate or like duplicate this production except with express written consent from the NHL. Now
I wrote them.
You wrote them? Okay, what did they say? Did they just
it's for your dad? That's cool.
Right, they just sort of sent you like the thumbs up emoji, and then and the signature was like from Gary Bettman. Because any of these guys, all you got to do is just like Gary Bettman at NHL.com, right?
He goes by the Bettman.
Yeah. You can find him on Snapchat, the Batman. BETT_man, all caps.
Blank it out if you want, but that's not actually what I'm doing. That was an idea that no one had ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the problem with the idea that no one ever had was that when you take it off of YouTube, the quality is like 360 pixels or like 240. It's absolutely terrible.
Probably terrible, yeah.
Yeah. And but the thing is, I tried to buy them from the NHL and I paid them a lot of money for that first set. You can't buy it anywhere.
And I also like how it's just the last 4 episodes, like just the ones that Boston won, like not the full series.
Well, that's the thing. Why would you want to watch the full series?
As a Boston fan, no. As a Vancouver fan, yes. And then probably
why would you want? Yeah.
And then
why would you
want to
watch
like
it as a
an
Vancouver
NHL
fan?
historian, you would probably want to watch all
full
7
thing.
games. Well, Cam, like who the fuck makes? I mean, Cam, were you an active DVD purchaser? Did you used to buy a lot of DVDs?
I still do, because we have a very small amount up to the cottage, and we need to continually. I'm a little bit tired of Nacho Libre, I'll be honest.
Now, are you buying DVDs from one of those like $5 bins, or are you going to Best Buy and purchasing? See, Cam, that's part of the problem. You need to pay full price for these DVDs, or else they know nobody's buying them. That's why they're not making them.
Well, then I guess I could watch it all legally on the internet, but what if I don't have the internet?
And where are you, in a fucking cave?
A cabin in the woods? Yes, exactly.
Yeah, Cam, well, I guess times like that is why you need your trusty VHS and blank tape.
Oh, okay. So now we're going to VHS.
Because you never know when an important moment on television is going to strike. I have a live recorded Janet Jackson Super Bowl nip slip.
Really?
You just can't get that anywhere.
Can I find that on the internet or no?
I'm sure you could, but
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Doubt it, right? It's YouTube's been scrubbed of all Janet Jackson nip slips.
The best VHS copy I got is an episode of Chris Angel. My freak.
Yeah, because you big mind freak fan you were.
I was.
You saw David Blaine and you're like, no.
Not for me.
I need more
goth
eye makeup.
Yeah, more
and then
goth,
Chris
more
Angel
eye makeup.
came around, and then you're like, okay.
I think we're talking.
This is the appropriate amount of eye makeup. Okay.
It's not magic. It's an illusion. Eye freak.
I know. Wow, I didn't know, Cam. I didn't know that show had such an effect on you.
Did you not like that show growing up?
No, it wasn't on my radar of television kind of programs to watch.
Never missed it. Thursdays at 8 or Thursdays at 9 A&E channel.
I was more into like West Coast Choppers, Monster Garage. I like that show too. Like if
I
I'm
used to
thinking,
have
like,
one of those shirts. You
Yeah,
know
I'm
the ones
thinking
with
the
like the black
shows-
ones with the cross.
Yeah, of course, the Nazi symbol. Yeah. Sorry, the SS symbol. My bad.
Super speed.
Well, let's keep moving on with the show here, Cam. Want to play another game?
Yeah, I like games.
Let's play a game. Let's play some. It's been a couple weeks since we played it. Let's play us some Urban Dictionary Balderdash.
AIDS, bum, cum, douche, edge, fap, gimp, herb, ike, jerk, cush, lamp, mac, narc, oaf, pank, queet, re, slore, tilth, uff, vag, walk of shame, zon, yeet, and zuck. Now let's play some Balderdash. Urban Dictionary Balderdash.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Urban Dictionary Balderdash.
I gotta say, Cam, I've never been on Balderdash as much as like since you and I have been playing this game on the show. Again, not a website that ever kind of like came across my radar. In
Urban
my
Dictionary or
young-
Balderdash?
Urban Dictionary. Sorry,
Got it. Urban Dictionary.
your Urban Dictionary, Cam. Who should kick this one
Urban
off?
Dictionary. Go ahead.
You want me to kick it off?
Yes, please.
Okay. Your word is soy face.
I'm gonna go ahead and think it's a racist term, but I feel like you wouldn't set me up that poorly. Could you use it in a sentence, please?
Of course. Why is he always taking photos with that soy face?
Doesn't really help.
Never said it had to help. Cam, deep thought over here.
I'm gonna go ahead and go for the low hanging fruit, and it's someone from Asia.
Oh no! I wish.
Damn it.
Cam. I feel like it was. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. You should have gone with your gut. I would have set you low. No, Cam. A soy face is the face that a new male makes when taking a selfie with his mouth gaping open. So I think it's something kind of like.
Oh, hate those guys.
New male.
Great
not too
content for a podcast. It's when your eyes are wide open too, and you're kind of looking like a shocked face, like, oh no, like, oh what?
Like that was so crazy and wild.
So crazy.
Oh my God, I've
Is that
never seen ever.
Floshodamus? Oh, I don't have a radio show.
Yeah, I don't know what a new male is. Maybe we can. Maybe I'll look into that for next week. But yeah, we'll see. There you go.
Great. All right. Well, I got one for you here. Mamala.
Mom Allah. Mom Allah.
Mamala.
Momla. Dun dun. May I have a sentence, please?
Had to catch up with my mamala. We had lunch and talked about life, and she brought me this hat.
Again, another guy. I love when we do these sentences and they're just nouns and we just put it like it's like essentially you just like make a mad gab and then you're like, yep, it's that works. It's a noun. Okay, I had to. Or what'd you say? It was like I
had
ate
to
lunch.
catch up with my mamala. We had lunch, talked about life, and she brought me this hat.
Mamala. Okay. I'm gonna say it's something like, hey, we had lunch and she brought me this hat. So it's definitely a woman. I'm gonna say it's another word for like a woman who's older in your life. But I was gonna say something like a wet nurse, or you have like a home birth, and your mama-law is the one who helps you out with that. So I'm gonna say, yeah, a woman who's older than you and maybe like gave birth to your kid.
I guess you're kind of close. It's someone who isn't your mom but treats you with care, like a cool aunt, but isn't related to you at all. Normally like a good friend of your mom.
Wait, did you say a cool aunt or a cool aunt?
I said aunt.
Oh, okay. So, okay, my mom has lots of cool aunts, or like I have a lot of cool aunts.
What's
I
the
just
difference?
I just don't have any cool aunts.
Is there a difference?
Between aunt and aunt?
Yeah.
I don't know. You said one, I said the other. I wasn't too close. I mean, I thought there was a second element to it, but yeah, an older woman than you. Cam, and what we just learned today, it doesn't always have to be low brow. I mean, you took soy face low brow, but it doesn't always have to be something that we'll have to bleep out later. Cam, you are the reason we have the podcast has a little E explicit on it. You are.
I never swear.
You have sworn a number of times today.
No.
Let's count it up. Somebody needs to count up who has sworn more in this episode.
I haven't said a
Cam
single
LeClaire or
swear.
Myself. And Jesus Christ does not count. That's just a dude's name. I'm just saying for my sake.
Which curses do you think I've said?
You've said the one that rhymes with puck.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you said the one that rhymes with punt.
No, I didn't.
You said the one that rhymes with flut.
I've said none of these things.
Which isn't a swear, it's just rude to say. You've also it rhymes with Glendiglin. You said one that
you lost me on
which
that
again,
one.
not a swear word, but like rude. You know, it was just
Glendiden. Yeah, that one's over my head.
probably a lot of the size. A lot of this show is often over your head, isn't it, Cam?
Jesus. Oops.
And I always say that, Cam. I think that was for more for the listeners at home. I do mean that literally. To as a result of the constant ongoing Cam using the permanent marker on the whiteboard, I've sort of had to maneuver it in a way that it is placed directly above his head. So
I
all
prefer
the things.
that.
So in a quite literal sense, of course, we write the subject matter of the show on the whiteboard, and it is hung over top of Cameron's head. So in very very realistically, Cam, this show is way over your head. It's like a few feet up there.
I like it. I also like how our now, like you said, the nouns, you could just say anything. Be like mama-la. It's like, hey, is that my mama-la over there? It's
See,
like,
and also like
yeah,
just replace our or swap our sentences. Mine would be, why is he always taking photos with that mama-la? It doesn't actually help.
No.
But that's that's part of the game, I think. That's part of the game. That's just a part of the game.
Quit being such a mama-la.
Yeah, exactly. Quit being such a soy face, you new male.
I think a new male is kind of like a pretty like lack of masculinity. I think.
Oh, because these new men.
Is it spelled NU, new male?
It could have been. I copied it. Excuse me. I copied it out onto a document. So
On a piece of paper or a hard drive?
I believe it was a digital piece of script.
Oops! Can't let the government see that. That's why I don't have any documents. Keep all my things on sticky notes.
Yep, sticky notes. And I gotta say,
It's looking pretty weird in here.
And you gotta say, your girlfriend hates it. Your girlfriend hates it. Her entire
oh my
house,
God!
and she's worked
Have
so
you ever
hard
gotten?
for it.
Have someone ever left you a passive aggressive sticky note?
I don't think so.
Oh man, one time Shannon did. She left one at the door and it said like, "Please lock this." And I'm like, "We cut this shit out today. I will never see a passive aggressive sticky note ever again." And she was like, "You just kept forgetting." And I'm like, "Never again." And I'll tell you what, she's never left me a sticky note with bullshit on it before.
Well,
Again.
Cam, I do have to side, only to play devil's advocate. She was reminding you to lock the door.
The back door. The back door.
And it was only after, okay.
A series of break-ins in the neighborhood.
It doesn't matter. I mean, they stole the 32-inch TV, and like nobody has a 32-inch TV anymore. You know, it's 55 or bust. So it wasn't bad that they stole the 32-inch TV. But the Peloton. That was the real expensive purchase that they took.
Oof. That's like $3,000.
Well, hey, it's your bank account, right?
Hey, whatever. Hey, let's keep plowing ahead. I got maybe a game featuring the latest news stories on the Two Season a Pod weekly newsletter. That's right, everyone. It's Two Season a Pod. Sorry, no. Fuck me.
Oh, we were so close. Well, I mean, they're not wrong. You're not wrong, I guess. It is twoceesinapod at gmail.com.
It's headliner asinine, everyone. Hey, headline, headline or asinine. Hey, Cam.
What I liked about that segue was that you didn't plug anything else. Which is an improvement on last week, of course, Cam. You were plugging everything last week.
This is brought to you by the New York Times.
God
hey,
damn
Cam, I was reading the New York Times the other day that Jefferson County announced a snow day despite classes being held virtually already.
Yeah, I wonder what that means. Like, what is a snow day now these days? Okay, well, as I remember, a snow day is one of those you can come to school or not. Nothing is really taught, but it was more like a spot for, if your parents left the house and you went to school. But now why would there be a snow day? No, that makes sense. I bet the teachers probably teach from the school, right? The teachers go into school and they just have a spot to teach from there. So it was more of protecting the teachers from being able to come in, less so the students. So that's a headline.
It's a headline, but for a different reason, and it's actually a really wholesome reason. So it actually happened this Wednesday, so today, and it was a note that got sent out to all the parents.
We don't know. It's not today. It's not
today. Is Wednesday.
Today is not Wednesday.
Today's Monday.
Today's Monday.
Today's Monday.
God
we
damn
are
it, Cam.
recording on
you lost
Monday.
half a week. You lost half a week
Jesus.
right there, Cam.
All right. Well, today is November 3rd, so we'll make sure we got that clear. Anyway.
Oh, have we gone back in time? Is this whole thing a fucking time portal? Jesus.
Hot Tub Time Machine. Check it out on DVD. Anyway, I guess the director or whoever it was basically sent out a note being like, hey, it's been a really shitty year for everyone. A bunch of people lost their jobs. There's been a pandemic, and my wife left me. And anyway, I think we should all deserve a break. So even though we're all going home virtually, spend the day with your kids going sledding, have some hot cocoa, and enjoy the day, as it's almost tradition in Wisconsin every first of the year that there is snow. It's always a bad snowstorm where we cancel school for the day. So have fun, everybody. And it just, makes your heart feel a little bit warmer.
Makes my heart feel sick, Cam. Since when do we talk about wholesome events and moments?
I want to talk about death and dying
on this podcast.
Let's get back to this coffin segment. What are we thinking here?
We're also
velvet interior.
Almost exclusive about. Sorry, that was a story happening out of where?
It was Jefferson County, which I think it was in. I thought it said VA, which doesn't really make much sense.
Virginia? No, well, didn't you just say Wisconsin? I think.
Well, whatever. Plowing ahead.
Don't tell me what to do, Cam, because this next headline is coming to you out of, who the heck knows? Headliner asinine, Cam. Wait. Tripping over here. Headliner asinine, environmentalist group seeks to shut off the Olympic torch because of its harmful CO2 emissions.
Oh, I don't believe it. I think there's so much other emissions going on that would be such a minor step. Like keeping a flame like that going is just peanuts compared to all the other shit going on. I could maybe see one person being like, we should do this to do this. I was actually thinking about the Olympic flame the other day. Because you know how sometimes they run with it and then they have I'll call it a terrorist come in with a fire extinguisher and blow it out. It's like a political statement. You've seen that?
Sometimes as in every 2 years, they run with it. Yeah.
No, but the political statement where someone comes with the and blows it out.
I don't think I ever have, no.
Oh, it's happened, yeah. Because they're like, I put out, but they carry it back up, obviously. I've always wondered, how long has it actually been going on for?
I mean, honestly, Cam, that sounds like some Illuminati bullshit right there, that question you just asked.
Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and say headline because I'm sure someone's complaining about it.
It's asinine.
Should have gone with my gut. Okay. Ghost boat washes up with 649 kilograms of cocaine on board.
Ghost boat washes up 649 kilograms. Yeah, that's a lot of cocaine. I'm sure a lot of planes and boats somewhere between, like Miami to Colombia. I'm sure a lot of things kind of fell,
Aruba,
shot
Florida,
down, or just kind of broke down. I'm sure that could have happened, right? You're in the middle of the ocean, something fucking breaks down or sinks before you can find it, and that makes sense. But how does it wash up? I wonder. Well, my question more is, I can picture all of these things happening. How is the cocaine? Is the cocaine usable, or did they just find 649 kilograms of absolute street trash that I wouldn't put up my nostril with a $1 bill? That's impossible.
Headline, and this happened out of the Marshall Islands. So it's an 18-foot vessel, which is pretty big, that had hidden compartments underneath the floorboards, which contained the 649 kilograms, which is a lot of weight. The funny thing I found about the article is, it just washed up because I guess they don't really know what happened, but it washes up between the Atlantic.
I think it's the moon which controls the tides. I believe.
Yeah,
the moon.
So it was across the Pacific from Central or South America, they're thinking. Best part about the story is they burned 647 of the kilograms, and then the U.S. Drug Enforcement brought back 2 for sampling. My ass. That's not making it back to America.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, and that would be my most important question too. If I was a drug enforcement agent working for the DEA, I would want to know, is that cocaine good enough to do? Or do I have to give it? Or do I have to give it, to the crack addict down the street so he can try it first? So I'm not putting anything sketchy up my nose. I'll see how he handles it. I know he can handle his shit, and maybe I'll be able to handle it. God.
Let's hear it.
Here we go, Cam. Your next headline for you here: Texas dog shoots owner after paw gets stuck in the trigger of his gun.
Oh, I feel like so many deaths happen here from just dumb accidents, and I could see someone trying to take a Christmas photo of look how much in support of guns we are, that even Sparky's holding the gun, and then Sparky puts his little sparkler in it, and then next thing you know, he freaks out, boom, dead or injured, seriously injured. Headline.
Cam, you're right. It's a headline, and it is exactly how it sounds. This happened in Plano, Texas. Maybe Plano, Texas?
Plano, yeah.
Where a man who was shot in the leg when he went to go lift up his dog. So picture this, folks at home, if you ever lifted up a dog before. So picture you've got a gun tucked into your waistband. Not in a holster, tucked into your waistband. Then you go to lift up a dog, and let's say maybe the dog itches or does that thing that all dogs do, which is move. And he got his paw stuck in the trigger, ends up shooting the man right into the top of his thigh. The sheriff of the town said, good news, though, it was just a through and through shot. Meaning it went out the other side, so just went straight through his leg, missed an artery, bone, everything like that. But for your own reference, Cam, now that you have a gun, you are halfway to your dog shooting you in the thigh.
I think you mean now that I have a dog.
Well, sorry, that's what I meant. Now that you have a dog, you are halfway there. You're closer than I am, that's for sure. And I should let you know that every year about 7 people are reported to be shot by their pets in this exact situation in the United States.
Well,
and that's just to be
surprised.
reported. So that means 7 people admit that this is how they got shot. And maybe there's some others who choose to stretch the truth.
All right, headline asinine. Low-grade cigars found to contain bits of manure.
God, there's so much things that you could put bits of manure in, and I probably wouldn't notice. I don't know how everything. I don't know how everything gets into my pantry. You could give me you could crack me open a brand new tub of Kraft chunky peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter, whatever you want to call it. It's my favorite. And if there was half a teaspoon of cow manure in there, but spread around throughout the entire tub, I'd have no idea. So the thought that, at least when I think of a cigar, I think of a little more kind of farm to table. It's coming right out of the ground. There is a manufacturing process of sorts, but it's certainly not like that of something made in a factory. They're getting their tobacco from the ground, and the leaves are from the ground, and it's probably packaged by somebody who was just close to the ground. There's a lot of manure steps in there, and I guess all cow manure is just kind of like fertilizer. So I guess I wouldn't really have a problem with it as long as I don't taste it. That's a headline.
Made it up.
Are you sure? Have you ever had a cigar before?
I don't know. I guess I could look it up, but I made that one up.
Okay, Cam, ready for your last headline?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Wisconsin Department of Health warns against eating the traditional cannibal sandwich.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and assume the traditional cannibal sandwich is it just has like 7 different kinds of meat in it or something crazy like that, and has so much fat in it that you're not going to feel good afterwards. And because of that, and on top of that, maybe they, what do they say? Every headline's a good headline? No, every press is good press, whatever. Every headline is a headline.
Cam, I wish your mind would have wandered. I set you up so nicely with cannibal sandwich. No, Cam, this is a headline. However, for every single wrong reason, you got to express some creativity, Cam, in your answers. You could have gotten there eventually, because the cannibal sandwich is actually considered a holiday favorite and a delicacy in Wisconsin. Of course, the cannibal sandwich consists of raw ground beef on bread with sliced onions, salt, and pepper.
Why it's called a cannibal sandwich?
No, because you're eating raw flesh. Of course, Cam, we don't even need to go into how dangerous it is to eat raw meat. Salmonella, E. coli, can be lobicator, another one.
Do you know why
listeria.
Ground beef is more dangerous to eat than just like a raw steak?
I do not.
Because when you ground it, there's so much more air that can, like, if you think of a steak, it's one piece, right? So if you just fry the outside, you're like, that's the only part that's ever seen the outside. When you ground it, then it has so much surface area to it that it's potentially infected.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me, Cam, but that's why it is called the cannibal sandwich. You're putting raw flesh, uncooked, unseared, exposed to the elements, and you're putting it on a goddamn sandwich every single year. The Wisconsin Department of Health reports hundreds of people all across the Midwest who are hospitalized for eating the cannibal sandwich.
That's embarrassing.
People can't get enough of this thing.
I think I can get enough of it.
You ever had a cannibal sandwich before? It's to die for.
Ooh, got him.
I don't think that's a pun.
What do you mean? How is that not a pun?
Because cannibals don't necessarily, because cannibals don't die. That's where, I don't know. That was Headliner Asinine, though, and gosh, I gotta say, judging by the yawn in your
never
mouth,
yawned. I never yawned once.
Well,
I made a strict rule not to yawn today.
We may have to check the backlogs on that. But Cam, I think it's safe to say that's all the time that we have for this week's podcast.
I think so, but never forget. Cam, what were we talking about before about turtles?
No, I gotta plug the show before you give the fact, because then we don't plug the show, because of course we have to tell people, remember to rate, review, like and subscribe to the podcast.
On the channel.
It's everywhere.
Comment.
Apple Music, Spotify, Stitcher, shit's on YouTube, also where you can watch things there. Give us 5 stars right into the show. twoceesinapod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you're a company who wants to plug their own business. Maybe you have a commercial that you want to air. You can use a promo code like 2Cs. If that's something that works for your business. And yeah, check us out.
We're really cheap. And never forget, Charles Darwin, personal pet tortoise, didn't die until recently. Think about that.
Take care, folks.
Continuing
tonight on 2 C's in a Pod. 96.7 on your...
Two C's in a pod, 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 two C's just like two C's in a pod, because we're two C's in a pod, just like two C's in a pod, two C's in a pod at gmail.com.